Welcome everybody to the sixth episode of the Trap Up 30 podcast. I'm your host, Malik Channer. I got my co-host here today,
Isaiah.
And we have two special guests. We got
AP
and
Nadine Serrano.
Yes, and these are two very important figures in the basketball world coming up, young stars, young phenom. Before we get started, I kind of want to put out an icebreaker question, just a very generic, who's your GOAT? LeBron or Jordan?
LeBron.
Really?
Yeah.
Nadine?
She's Jordan. Michael Jordan all the way.
Ooh, Michael Jordan. Isaiah?
I'm definitely going with LeBron.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a LeBron guy too. Maybe it's I don't know.
Generation.
Maybe.
I have my reasons.
What's your reason?
Yeah, because
I know we all have this idea of what the greatest player looks like, and to me, the greatest player is a little more, just their mentality is just a little more. Just his approach is a little different. I love the seriousness that Michael Jordan and Kobe brought, and I know LeBron's serious, but he's also an entertainer. He's very theatrical. He's
theatrical.
He understands the rules of the game and he plays within the limits, which I'm okay with. That's fine, But I'm much more, a little more just take it, play ball.
yeah.
Play
So
ball.
what do you feel like is theatrical about LeBron? I feel
He's the strongest player. I think he can do whatever he wants out there. He's very skilled. I believe he's the most dominant player, but at the same time, I don't like his theatrics. I don't like his theatrics.
like he's not serious about the game, or
His body language, just complaining, just the why me attitude, it's happening to me, I'm being fouled, I'm being slapped, and I get it. It's just a way to handle it.
Yeah.
I like the way, I'm not big on Ben Simmons. I know he's just back into it, but Ben had scratches all over him, and he just went up. He's like, "Hey," I'm sorry. He was like, "Hey."
Fouls.
Right, look at my scratches, not
Yeah.
hey, going over in their ear every second and just trying to get his way. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's my opinion. I like basketball. Just quit complaining, and that's the way I coach my kids. Stop complaining and get back in the game and focus on the next play. But LeBron,
I will say I was kind of leaning towards Jordan, but after him passing the 40K mark and then him playing with his son, and he's still playing at such a high level in year 22. Year 22, I'm just this is kind of insane.
no, he is. It is.
So my answer kind of switched recently, but even though I didn't grow up watching Jordan that much, but I've seen all the documentaries and things like that. But is there who's your GOAT in the WNBA though? Who would you say?
Jewel Lloyd.
Ooh, Jewel Lloyd. Okay. What about you?
I'm on the Caitlyn wagon right now. I'm not
I
gonna
knew she was
lie.
gonna say that.
I know I'm on her wagon.
Already?
Part
You're
of me
one?
tries not to. I try not. Sometimes I'm the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But you can't deny it. It's just.
Yeah.
No, she's had to overcome so much that we haven't even seen.
Yeah.
For her to perform on a consistent basis,
That's a rook.
that's hard.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I kind of want to get this started off with kind of throwing it back a little bit. I remember when we first got connected. I remember you kind of sent us a message that sent us a few videos that you were playing in. I actually was looking it up right before the podcast. And I believe you were in second grade going into third grade. And I was just, we were filming some of the top guys in high school and things like that. So it was, I had never went down and filmed, elementary, kids before. So, but I think a couple years later, we were filming Hansel at the time.
Life Christian.
So I was going to Life Christian, and there was this girls game on, and I'm like, this looks like the same girl who messaged us a long time ago, AP. So I just picked up my camera and literally started. I don't even think I got the whole game. I think it was half of the game.
Yeah.
And you were getting some, pretty impressive buckets. But my question to you is, what kind of started your love for the game at such a young age? For I think it was second grade. You were probably 8 years old.
Yeah. So I was born into basketball. Like, even if I wasn't going to play, I was still going to know how to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I did gymnastics up until 4. I was always traveling with my mom, watching her coach, watching her players, and I was like, I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I played my first game at 4 years old, and ever since then, I just loved the game. And I haven't put the ball down since.
Okay. Have you, I know you said you played gymnastics. Have you done like any other sports or anything? Like
Just football.
football?
Yeah.
Okay. When was this?
6th grade.
6th grade?
I played 1 season.
Did you like it?
Yes, I loved it.
You mind pulling your mic just a little bit closer to you?
Yeah.
There we go. That's good.
Okay.
Okay. So we got football, gymnastics,
Basketball.
basketball. And you said you pretty much were born into basketball. So that comes from,
My parents played ball in college.
okay.
So
All right, so that brings us to you, Miss Nadine. So what kind of give us a little history lesson behind you, where your roots, your kind of like your resume, getting started in basketball. Just give us a quick history lesson.
Sure. Okay, real quick. Well, I was born with 3 older brothers, and like most parents, they put the girl in gymnastics, right? And they put the boys in boy sports like basketball and soccer. And I probably, by the 3rd gymnastics lesson, I was like, this isn't for me. And all I wanted to do was play basketball. So my mom put me in a co-ed league at the time. YMCA was just co-ed. And I played rec ball from 4 years old till about 7. And then a referee thought I was a little better than the other kids, and he recruited me to start playing AAU. So I started playing travel ball at 7. And it just became my life. That became my lifestyle. And no one in my family had played. My brother dabbled in it a little bit, but it was just me, and I loved it. And so I played travel ball my whole life until high school. Then we moved to Mississippi, and there wasn't a lot of AAU teams in Mississippi at the time. So I just focused on high school basketball. And then from there, I picked up an offer to play JUCO at Meridian Community College. And I played there, and it just, from there, I had been playing my whole life. And so I really got burned out by the time I got to college. Very burned out. And it became just a job. It wasn't fun. I saw the politics, I saw the business behind it, and it became not fun for me. Not to mention just distractions of college.
Yeah.
And so I took a break for it for a while. And then I had a daughter, and I thought, I'm not going to force her to play, but if she wants to play one day, she'll be good whether she wants it or not, because we're just going to play with the ball. Yeah. And so we just, like normal, hey, let's go outside, let's play with the ball. Let's play catch. And we played catch, and we'd go for walks, and she would dribble the ball, and we were just playing. It was a game. And then I started coaching, and she started playing, traveling with me as a baby. A lot of the girls were in high school at the time, so she was maybe 3 years old, 4 years old, traveling with me. And I was probably 24 at the time, and she was just immersed in it. I was immersed in it. I loved it, and she's just been playing ever since. And now it's her turn. A lot of the girls that were playing when I was coaching, they're now older now, and one of them even got to come back to excel last year and coach her. So one of the girls that I coached when she was in 8th grade, and she was maybe about 4 or 5,
like 3 maybe.
3 or 4 or 5. She grew up, and she became my assistant coach, and she got to coach her last year. So it was just a full circle moment.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things you don't understand, but you just follow your heart, and it's just, here we are.
Do you see any differences in your era in basketball versus AP's era in basketball?
Huge
What would you say
differences.
is different?
My generation, it was like, I think we were still very in the embryonic stages of basketball. So when I grew up, I went to my first WNBA game, and Orlando Miracle, it was like the WNBA had only been around for like 3 years. So my first game was only 3 years old. It was still new. So my generation was very fundamental. You know that saying, like, girls play real basketball?
Yeah.
Like, they're very,
Yeah.
it's very fundamental.
Yeah.
It's just very fundamentally sound. But if you, like, men, boys, they're very entertaining. Like, they're very skilled. A lot of skill, and just a lot different approach to the game. So for me, like, now you got a lot of girls coming up. You see like Special K and Gigi, and you see Juju and Paige and Flage. They're they're playing like boys. They're able to finish at the rim in ways where it's not just an underhand like or overhand layup.
Yeah.
Right. So in my time, that was I was in college and my coach was like, no left hand layups, right hand like it was just very fundamental.
The coach told y'all that?
Yes, because a championship game, someone did a left hand layup and lost, and so he was jaded. He never wanted any player to use his left. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
This was in college. I don't think he's coughing at the joke. It's just for real.
That was funny.
I know. I've just never heard a coach like.
I know, but
Put a
I think we keep women in a box, and now we're now able to look at women and girls sports and say, then they can do it just like the boys.
Yeah. Kind of like.
No, I feel you.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the narrative now is just, I feel like the women's basketball game is kind of now getting outside of the box, and still a lot more work to be done for sure. But I love, obviously, Caitlin Clark has transcended that, a lot, but I'm glad to see that, you've noticed the change already with, just the growth of the game. Just have, do you see any similarities between your game and AP's game? Like how you used to play versus?
I did in the beginning. I saw, I just grew up playing point guard. So to me, like handles was all I wasn't athletic. I wasn't tall. Right? I couldn't jump high.
Yeah.
It was just, I had to rely on my skills and my IQ. So I think in the beginning, her handles, that reminded me of just very like quick crossovers, change a quick shift in direction. But she's surpassed. The student has surpassed
the
the
teacher.
master. Oh, completely.
Wait. Are you saying that she's beating you now?
No.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that she has surpassed the teacher as far as skills. Like I can't, she's way more skilled than I am. And but what I see in her is her IQ, just her court awareness and her IQ. I think she's just had to play at a high level at a young age. And I see that was my strength. I wasn't tall, I wasn't strong, I wasn't athletic, I wasn't quick. I was just smart, and I made good plays with my mind. And I think she approaches the game mentally, composed. So.
Okay.
One thing that's always intrigued me about you is just the way that you have the confidence to play against other boys and whatnot, even at a young age. So it's like, what gave you that? What pushed you to keep wanting to do that? Because when we were coming up, you might have a girl maybe playing like you said, co-ed rec league, but it's like you play real AAU games and real actual sanctioned games with the boys. So what gives you the confidence?
So I just know, like, when we all step on that court, we're all hoopers. So it doesn't matter
That is true.
the age or the gender. I'm just going on the court to play ball, and that's my mindset.
I feel you.
Do you have any players that you look up to or model your game after?
Caitlin Clark.
Was that now or like previously? I feel like
I know she's so good, right?
Now.
Well, she's not new. I mean, she's been she's.
Well, I meant like
But she just
publicly,
right,
nation, globally
Just
known.
now finding out, yeah.
Like, I didn't know, like, growing up, did you have, like, a favorite
Oh.
player that you look up to?
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie, okay.
Yeah.
I guess, like, testament to the handles and stuff.
Yeah.
So, would you say you're a point guard, shooting, like, what's your position and play style like?
I can play whatever someone wants me to play, but I would say probably mainly point guard and shooting guard is my specialties.
Okay. And I know you pretty much, like you said, you started off playing co-ed with boys, led you through Excel. Now you're at Montverde National Academy. Talk to me a little bit about how that experience has been, stepping on the scene, on the national scale. What has been how have those experiences been so far?
It's a great experience. It's definitely a big jump because I've been homeschooled for 5 years. Then I'm just starting school at like a really big school. So it's a big jump. I'm adjusting. It took a while, but I'm now know how to manage my time better with my schoolwork, basketball, everything that I need to handle. We did go to Memphis for the first time, like last week or something, and that was definitely like a great memorable moment for me to remember because that was our first traveling moment.
Yeah.
And that's something I've been looking forward to for a while.
Okay.
So that's just
Did you
I can't think of the word, but
did you guys win? Or like how was
we went 3-0.
3-0? Okay. How the first time playing with the girls? How was it?
It was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
Especially with being surrounded by all those top girls. It's getting me better.
Was there any pressure for you?
No.
No pressure.
Really? Well, I mean, listen, I can't picture me in 8th grade.
Honestly,
Going
I asked her
against
the
the
same
top
thing.
guy,
Like, I was like, what are some things like you're struggling with? She's like, nothing. I'm like, okay, then I don't want to make up
it,
a
yeah.
problem
Right,
or if it's
right.
not there.
No, for
so
sure.
I'm just like trying to follow her lead. Like,
I mean, I guess that kind of goes back to your question, like how do you have that confidence? Because I
Yeah.
feel like it's like you step into the game or any arena and like you're not even phased. You know, I think even when I see the highlights, I'm like, this girl is handling this pressure like,
It's nothing.
you know, it's nothing. So, you know, I think that's a great quality that you have as a player.
Yeah.
You know, and definitely one that's going to keep you going forward. So, do you have any mentors on the team? I know you're like pretty much the youngest girl on the team. Like, speak about any mentors or any how the players treat you on the team so far.
There's some moments where they treat me like I'm a lot younger than them, but when we're on the court, like we're all the same. They don't make me feel like I'm a lot below them. They make me feel like I'm right there with them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Do you have any like, and you can take this as deep or surface level as you want. Do you have any short-term goals or long-term goals, you know, with this year and just the years to come?
Right now, my main goal is just to change a lot of people's perspective on women's basketball. Because me playing with boys right now, I've seen and went through a lot of things that I don't want a lot of younger girls to go through. So right now, a goal for me is to change things. And I've changed a rule. I went to a boys tournament and they didn't let me play because the other coach addressed that I was a girl and she knew who I was. So they didn't let me play, but the director changed the rule and now girls, if they're good enough, they can play.
Really? When was this?
Oh, like probably like 7 months ago.
yeah, I took our boys more than a game. We drove all
Really?
the way to game. We drove all the way to Game Point in Orlando at 8 a.m. to play.
Let me tell you that.
Yeah, play.
And
a-
they told y'all that she
Yeah.
couldn't play?
They
It was,
actually
it was on the other team that we were playing, the coach, and she was a woman. And she recognized her.
So she
Yeah.
was scared pretty much.
She was scared. She recognized her and said, "We know who she is. We're not playing against her."
Wow.
And the thing is, we were playing older boys. So she was a whole year younger
That's crazy.
than the age group we were playing in 8th grade, and she was in 7th. And we tried to talk to the coach. She would not reason. She was cold blood. No, we're not playing.
And
There is
we-
the rules. Forfeit. They lost.
and we had 5 players, including me.
So
So
it would've
So
been
if you didn't
forfeit.
play, it was
if I
gonna
didn't
be,
play, it was a loss. So we didn't
that's
end up
kind of
playing.
crazy.
That's crazy.
How did that like make you guys feel in that moment as it was going on?
I was so like mad and confused. Like, why is she doing this? Like, just play.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm trying to achieve
Yeah.
the goal by changing people's mindsets and stuff.
What do you feel is the biggest difference between playing with the boys and the girls?
Right now, probably the physicality. Like with boys, it's a lot more aggressive, and I wouldn't say no. It's right now girls are getting a lot more aggressive, but it's just there's a difference.
Do you feel like when you're playing with the boys that sometimes they might take it easy on you, or do you feel like they go at you more?
If they know who I am, they're not gonna take it easy on me. But if they're just now meeting me, like that's a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're gonna take it easy on me at first, but then once they see me play, they get like mad if I score on them.
Yeah.
Then they don't take it easy on me anymore.
That's true.
Wow. Not gonna lie, that's kind of. I'm still stuck on this story. Like, I can't even picture that.
So it's a big. I'm putting names out there, but it's a big tournament like director in Orlando, and he brings in every tournament so many teams, and it's very well known. If I said it, you would know it. But he was moved by her story. Like he tried to do everything he could to get her to play in that game. He tried to talk to the coach and say, "Listen, she's younger. You know, here's what we're gonna do." But she had it made up in her mind that she was not gonna put her boys against a girl.
That's great.
Like I said, I think she just recognized her.
Yeah.
And was just like, we're not gonna do that. And so we had to go home.
That's crazy.
Had to go home. And so, but he reached out to me afterwards, and he said he's gonna add kind of like a clause in the rules and say, you know, girls cannot play. However, he has the discretionary. He can make the discretionary decision if a girl shows that she can play with boys at that level. He's gonna let her, because the thing was, he says he's never run into a girl that's been good enough to play with boys. Usually, there's a girl on the team. She's not that good. He says, in his experience, there's always girls. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's never been a problem. He says girls playing has never been a problem. He's never run into where a girl was so good that nobody wanted to play. And so he says girls cannot play, but if she is good enough to play on that level and she's playing up, she's allowed to play. So, but he says it's his rule. Like he can override.
Right.
Right, but at the time he couldn't. He says it's in the rules. I'm sorry, you have to go
the
home.
rules at that time.
But he amended. Yeah, he said he changed the rule, and so now and it's maybe it's small, but to us it was big. It was
For sure.
I think it's big.
You know, there's girls out there.
When you talk about changing the rules, is this something like, okay, you want high school to be like how far are we going when we come to, how much you want to change this rule? Do you hope to see like a merger between the NBA, WNBA, or college basketball and things like that?
I want my goal to go to like the highest level. Like even with the WNBA and the NBA, it's growing. The WNBA is growing, but it's still like a
Big gap.
inequality in both of them. So I want to change like all levels.
Actually, I think I remember seeing when Caitlin Clark was on the scene, Big Three had offered her
Yes.
to play,
yeah.
with the
Just the summer. It wasn't even.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was just and that would have been history. That would have been history.
playing the
So
actual
to
league.
me, that wasn't a goal of hers. So she didn't take it up on for whatever reason. It wasn't. But
She could've.
That's a
It
goal
would've
of hers.
been
Like
great.
she's
You would've-
always
you would've
said
taken
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
in an instant. That's a goal of hers. Again,
Yeah.
I think it's you have to know what you want ahead of time, and then when an opportunity is presented, if it's aligned, you're gonna know. Man, I've been wanting to play in the NBA since I was a little girl. Yes, she wouldn't even let Ice Cube finish his sentence. She was like, yes,
Yeah.
just to play, like just to say
Yeah.
I did it. I did it. And it's bigger than that. So
Oh, that's really dope. I think, when you talk about, what's the trailblazers or people who changed the game, like, definitely she had a chance to do that, but
That's the thing. She probably, because even after the girls got to go overseas. So it's like that could have been still another avenue for her
Yeah.
to stay in the States
for sure,
yeah.
and make money.
but still can be done. We'll see what happens.
I know. I think people are starting to expand their ideas of what women are capable of.
Yeah.
And so now they want to explore those boundaries. Like, oh, let's see how Sabrina plays against Steph. That's just that's a
gotta
big
be
move.
crazy, yeah.
So
No, for
like
real.
what in the 3-point contest? Remember the All Star?
Yep.
So they brought Sabrina in, and that to me is like people are starting to wonder, man. How can I saw something like I wonder how Juju would play with the boys.
She's tough.
People want to know, they want to see and
Yeah.
guess what? There's going to be somebody that's going to say like, AP's doing really well. Let's see what she looks like in one Big 3 game or one NBA game. Who knows? Like let's just do it for fun. The All-Star game, you playing it. Like we don't know.
Yeah.
But she'll be ready. And she'll be ready. Like okay, now you're opening up to that idea. She's been open to that idea. So she's
That is true.
Yeah. I see even like on your own platforms, because I see, your Instagram is almost 10K coming up. And I know the emergence of the YouTube world. Is that something like let's just say you have an opportunity to just make a channel about that? Would you kind of like create your own opportunities through there as well?
I would, yeah.
Also, just kind of because, like I said, you have a lot of popularity, even as a young athlete. Talk a little bit about the pressures that no one else kind of sees, that you go through just being a young athlete coming up the scenes.
Probably when I'm walking into somewhere knowing that people know me, I have like a huge target on my back. I would say that puts a lot of pressure on me, but I know how to handle all that pressure. So I just keep going. I'm thriving through it. Some people think it like changes me or like affects me, but it doesn't affect me as much. It's just I know that I'm aware that I have a target on my back, but it doesn't affect my game or anything.
What spaces do you feel like you get the most like pressure? Like, is it more so on like the basketball, like the high school side, more so the travel ball side? Where do you feel like you get the most pressure?
Probably the travel ball side, especially with the boys.
Okay.
But, yeah.
What about you, like as a parent, watching your daughter go through all of this? What is, some pressures that people may not see behind the scenes?
I think we did the best we could at trying to instill a certain belief in her. And I believe she's older now. And so whether she wants to admit it or not, now she's a little bit older. I think the world is that always wants to tell you who to be. The world wants to bring you to their level and what they believe is possible for you. And they kind of bring you down to their wavelength and their dimension. And I think sometimes I believe she's strong enough to, like she says, I can go in there and I can play and not think about it. But I believe there are times where it does get to her, and she just has to remember like, the tools that we've worked on to get over those voices. Like she said, she does have a target, but people may not always say it, but she feels it. She walks into a room, she feels the look, she feels maybe the distance that people create. She goes to camps and all these girls maybe are clicking up, and maybe she doesn't have anybody that's coming over to her, and she's kind of there, like she's there to do business. So I think just the struggle with the belief in who she is and then what the world is telling her who she is. And I think she may not admit that. She may not even be conscious of it. But I believe that's a struggle from what I've seen in her, because as a parent, I've had to go to her and say, you remember like what you've been through. Remember who you are. Remember, like there was an instance, I just had to show her a video from last season. And I was like, do you remember you doing this? Do you remember you doing this? This was last year at 12. This is a whole year from now. So sometimes I think she struggles with like who she believes she is and what the world believes she is. And so,
how do you deal with like backlash and like hate comments or people that don't necessarily think that you are supposed to be where you are?
You get hate? Do you get a lot of hate comments?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I see it, but I just ignore it. Like, I know my worth.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let other people, like, dictate my beliefs or anything.
Do you, how do you feel like you separate yourself from, like, the rest of the country? Like, what makes AP Anyla Parker different, from the rest of the country?
Maybe like my drive. Like I'm always fighting to go to like the next place I'm supposed to be. I would say just not like anything specific in my game. It's just like my mentality and like me knowing my words, my affirmations, and all my beliefs and stuff.
Okay. Do you see any like other hoopers coming up the game who also have like a similar mentality as far as changing the game, just peers that you may play against?
Special K. She's I don't know her mentality, but I can almost like tell that she has a good head on her shoulder and she knows where she's going.
Okay.
Have you ever went against like when you're playing with the boys, have any other boys team had a girl that you went against at the same time? Or have you been like the anomaly?
Oh, you mean like like playing against a team with a girl?
Yeah.
We have one time. It was a long time ago. We went to Alabama, and there was a girl on. I think it was
Oh,
like,
yes. She was a year older than me, though.
but she was
I remember.
older. Yeah,
She was good, though.
Yeah, she
But
was good.
Yeah.
but she.
You know anything that happened to her? Like where she's at today?
No.
I know we've been talking a lot about basketball. I'm kind of interested a little bit of like what your like passions or interests are outside of basketball. You know, any like hobbies and stuff you like to do, whether it's gaming or stuff like that?
Yeah. I do hair.
Okay.
Like
Your mom's hair?
braid.
Oh, she needs to. I wish she would. No, she does do my hair sometimes. She braids it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's all into like hairstyling right now. She's
That's a skill in
she's
itself.
really good.
I like to like music, like sing, rap, freestyle. Like she'll just put on a beat. She'll be like freestyle to this. I'll be like, okay, and I'll freestyle to it.
I like that.
I think you did tell me that.
Yeah.
I think you actually wrote a song or something like that last time we spoke. How's that been coming along?
It's been good. I've been working on it.
Okay.
For school, I've created 2 raps actually.
Uh-huh.
One was for social studies. It was about money, and then for math, I created one.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Exponents.
Yeah, about exponents.
She did good. She did
I
good.
hope you got an A.
She did.
Like, yeah.
Okay. I know you talk a little about music. Like, who are some like the artists, your favorite artists? Top 3. Let me say top 3 artists.
Summer Walker. Maybe SZA sometimes. Like, I like some of her songs, but some I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Oh, my bad. You got one more.
And then Lil Baby.
Lil Baby. Okay.
Who do you think won the beef between Drake and Kendrick?
That's an easy choice.
I still think Drake won. I think Drake
Kendrick.
won. I'm sorry.
No, Drake did not.
Kendrick
Dang.
definitely won.
That is
Hands down. Are those some like your pregame artists as well? Like you listen to before the game?
Yeah.
Okay. A few more questions for you today. What does a normal day at Montfort look like for you? Like walk us through your day. You wake up and what happens?
Okay, so some mornings I have open gym at 6 in the morning to 7, so I gotta wake up at like 3:30. Because I live an hour and a half away from the school. So I wake up.
Wait, you commute there every day?
So I wake up early.
Your face.
I know.
wait.
No,
His face when
I'm
you
sorry.
get, you're like,
That's a long drive.
No, because
It is.
you gotta wake up too.
Oh yeah, she gotta wake.
I gotta wake up earlier.
That's crazy.
Because I have to wake
She
her
gotta
up.
wake me up.
Sheesh.
But I get ready. I leave. I sleep in the car and I listen to inspirational videos. Meditate. Get to school. I have like 5 classes. Then at 12 o'clock, I go to weights 2 times a week.
Weights already?
Yeah, we started like the second week of school.
Wow.
Okay.
But yeah, I got weights from 12 to 12:45. Then after I come back, eat lunch. Got 2 more classes. I end school at 3:10. Gotta rush over to the gym for practice at 3:30. So practice ends at 6 o'clock. After that, sometimes we have open gym from 8 to 9:30 at night. So after 6, I'll go get something to eat, do some homework because we have a lot of homework. So I'll do my homework, come back to the gym. This is my own personal workout time. So I'll work out for an hour and a half, end at 9:30, drive home, get home at like 11, do some homework, and go to sleep.
Wow.
Sheesh. And wake up at 3:30.
Busy schedule than me. That's, you
Is
got
it
it.
8-hour
schooling?
days.
Yeah.
I have 19-hour days.
19-hour days.
Yeah.
I applaud you. I'm not gonna lie.
And I listen. It's not. Don't look at me like look at their parents. They're
Yeah.
pushing her through so much. Like that's her. That's what she wants. That's her dreams. It's no
Yeah.
different from a kid who loves drawing or building sandcastles. Like she's still so young. Like she wants. She wants it. She wants to do it.
I think the drive is so like impressive because, it's not. There's kids who not even driving an hour and a half to school is something that you chose. So, I just think that's really impressive for you. Be doing this in 8th grade. Were your days kind of like similar before Montverde, like as far as work ethic? Or what your days were like?
No, not at all. Like I would start school at like 12.
'cause you were
when I was
homeschooled.
homeschooled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would work out like 2-3 times a day. But now that I'm at my bird, I feel like I get a lot more work in because even though I have school, like before school and after school, I'm still getting a lot more work in.
Okay. How's the like education wise from homeschool to Montverde?
It's good. I'm doing really good right now in educational wise.
Okay. Dang, 3:30 is kind of crazy.
You know, you don't
Sometimes
know what you're
4:30.
capable of until you start
Yeah.
waking up at that
That's crazy.
time. You're like,
Yeah.
man, if I can wake up at 4 or 3, I can do anything in this world. I swear, if you can do that,
Yeah.
there's a lot you can do. That's because you have to overcome, especially when we get back so late.
I was to say that's got to be a pressure for you as
Yeah.
well. Like,
And-
you know, you got to
No.
be there for her. You know, pick her up, take her home. Like, how is that like mentally as a parent?
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot worse if we had no like end goal or end destination. But because we have a end goal, like, we're not just driving all like
Yeah.
everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, it's like we have a destination in our GPS. So it's just it's back and forth. And right now it is what it is. But we have an end goal, and so we understand this is required.
Yeah.
Nah, I was blown not to see you guys in XBL this year, but I understand with that
I
type
know
of
we
schedule.
tried.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, we
Okay.
tried.
I heard y'all were supposed to play for Team Lady BP in Asia. What happened there?
Just it was a schedule misunderstanding. Like
Yeah.
I didn't realize how busy I was gonna be. But yeah, that's the reason why.
That's all good. We had you guys like I think the year prior, so
I know, and actually, that's one of the videos that I showed her
Yeah,
too.
she
I was
showed
like,
me my XPO video.
look at this! Like, look what you were doing already against these high school teams,
Literally.
and you had just turned. You didn't even turn 13. No, you were.
No,
12.
I just turned 12.
Just turned 12. Like, and you look what you were doing against those teams. And so now you're here.
Right.
Remember that you can build on that, and so. Yeah, that was fun. We wanted to.
Yeah, I did.
We always want to be a part of what you got going, man. You guys
Listen.
are growing and blowing up. Any tournament, anything we want to be a part of, just because you're doing so much good. And so it really was hard for us to not be able to do it. I think this is the only free weekend we've had in a long time. So that's why today it worked out perfectly.
definitely appreciate you guys for coming. 100%. I mean, I know you have a busy schedule from Montverde, and I think y'all season is about to start soon, right? When's y'all first like official game?
It's in November. I have my
Yes.
first game
November 5th.
5th.
November
Alright.
5th.
It's
Okay.
with the gold national team.
Any of them close to Tampa? Any game this season?
I think maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
there
play in
is.
the Tampa
Tampa Bay
the
Christmas?
Invitational.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
we do.
Wiregrass?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes, yeah,
plays in
yeah.
that, and then I know I sent you the schedule. I told you it was crazy.
Yeah.
You have to like look.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
when-
each
it's-
month is packed.
Yeah, it is. And between both of her teams, she'll be busy. But yeah, for sure, there will be a lot close by, and
Who would you say some like the top girls I would just say boys and girls, top players you play against, since you started?
I don't know. I haven't really played against.
you mean Montverde? Like since you started? At
No,
Montverde?
just like
Just
her,
in
like
general.
throughout her journey.
Oh,
Like,
your journey, just like playing any showcases, tournaments, games where you played against somebody that just stood out to you. She's funny.
They're not on AP
You know what
level.
that's saying? Like she's
They're
not
on-
focused on no one
they're not
else.
on
That's what
AP
she's
level.
Nah, really?
I'm
She,
trying to
when
think
I-
of
she really
like
doesn't
that.
know. She probably like, did I play against the number one player? I didn't know that. Like
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I guess everybody knows you, but you don't know everybody else.
Yeah.
I think that's like kind of crazy as far as when it comes to like, because I think I've seen some rankings where you like number one pretty much. When nobody really talks about number 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
When you're at the top. But how do you like stay focused on like, okay, these rankings are coming out. Do you pay attention to these rankings? Are you trying to keep that spot as the number one player? Like, how do you view rankings?
Some rankings that, like most of the rankings that have come out, they don't really matter. Like they're not like the big deal. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen like one that's mattered, but I don't try to ignore it. I mean, I acknowledge it, but it's not like,
Yeah.
even if I am not number one, it doesn't matter because I know what I am.
What made you choose? Because if we go back a little bit, I seen you at the overtime trials, and at the time, like all the top hoopers were going there. So like, what made you choose Mount Vernon over overtime?
Just I don't know what.
So
probably
talk,
just- it was just
what was
being,
the
like,
overtime experience like? What happened there?
Yeah,
Like,
so it's really
It was a good experience for sure.
Yeah, it was a great experience for sure. They're really trying to find the hoopers earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really because overtime isn't until high school. So it's high school athletes.
Okay.
So for her time, it would be next year.
Yeah.
But they're trying to get in front of the players now. Like
Okay.
who is the upcoming rising 8th graders like that are coming up, the 7th graders. So that way you're on their radar, so they can kind of follow you, and that way they truly can stick to their goal of bringing the best high schoolers
yeah.
in the country on overtime. So they want to make sure like they're following these girls now in middle school. So to me, that was them bringing what they felt was the best and putting them together. And so it was a great experience. We got to see there were some hoopers.
Yeah, there was
Yeah, there
a
were
lot
some
of
hoopers
people.
there. Even in her class, I was
Yeah.
most impressed by how many girls can. The 2029 class is stacked in her.
Yeah.
Stacked. You think there's a lot of respect. There's a lot of girls out there that can play that in her same class.
That's what I'm trying to get to know. Who are like some names? Because
We're not the biggest.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Honest, that's speaking on me. I'm not as involved with. I'm barely in middle school boys basketball. Definitely not in girls. The only person I really know is AP.
No.
But I don't know. Are there any like other notable names out there that you give your flowers and respect to?
Maybe in your team.
On my team, Montverde, Sanaya Hall, Agat. I forgot her last name. She's in who else? I'm trying to think who's on my team.
Yeah. Those are the ones
Yeah,
that
that's
stand
it.
out to you.
Yeah,
Those are the
Shania
ones.
Hall.
Sanaya
Okay.
Hall. Yeah, she's been someone that's been a leader for her since she got to get there, since she's gotten to Montbird.
Yeah. And I know, just speaking on OT, just because I know the nature of OT when it comes to like NIL and offers. Have you guys had any experience or dealt with anything as far as NIL? And do you guys like have any questions about NIL? Before you start jumping on those scene on the high school.
Do you want to say anything about it, or no? I mean, yes, because she first started not making. I wouldn't say making money off her name, image, and likeness, but just generating, profiting from, what she loved, which was she wanted to get into like modeling and commercials and stuff, and she was kind of pulled into that. She didn't really like aim to do that.
Yeah.
Her life just pulled her into that. But as far as like NILs, it's there. We've had conversations about it. We've talked with just people in our circle, people who have had a little more experience in there. We've talked with attorneys. We've talked with agents, sports marketing companies and agents, and it's coming.
It's new.
So and it's very new. So I think right now we're just trying to make sure that we have the right habits, financial habits, the right mindset to be able to, when that comes in, like, do you know how to say, like, only saying yes to those things that align with you.
Right.
So right now we know it's going to come. Like, it's coming, but now it's just preparing her mind and her attitude for what's to come, and to be able to like manage and handle that, and still stay true and genuine to herself. Because there's a lot of people out there that are just taking it because it pays well.
Yeah.
And so right now, I tell her the belief is the money's coming, no matter what. The opportunity is going to come right now. Stay so true to yourself that you have the confidence saying no to things that don't align, and then yes to the things that do. So really just now giving her that discernment. She's going to be 14. I can't just be there and be like, yes, no. She's got to be involved in those conversations.
That was going to be my question. Like, are you involved with that, or are you giving her a lot of guidance? Like, how does those navigating that NIL stuff? How does that work? with you
Yeah,
guys?
she's got to be involved. She has to be. She's always been. We've been talking about money since you were what?
Forever.
Forever. We've been talking about money for a long time. Just how to handle it, how to handle attention, how to handle adversity, challenge, anything. So NIL, it's going to bring a lot of blessings, but it's also going to bring some burdens and some issues.
Yeah.
So to me, we've got to stay a step ahead. money's easy. We've been talking about that, but it's really just the gravity of having all those brands that are, just the responsibility.
What do you think will be like the biggest challenge with NIL? I know you, like I said, this will be something new for you guys. Like, as a parent, what are like some questions or challenges that you may have, like, oh, okay, this might be something that we need to look further into?
That's a great question. I think we're kind of ahead of it. Like I said, we've always had conversations about when money comes in, and when she gets paychecks. Like there's things that we do with it. There's a certain way what we do, how we allocate. I think something that's going to come is a lot of kids are going to get these paychecks and they don't know how to manage it. And I think they're getting the money and they're getting the power at a very young age, and it's almost giving this false belief like you've already made it. Like you've made it and you're 12 years old and you haven't made it. You've not made it, right? If LeBron's not thinking that, why are you? You've not made it. And so you carry on that attitude going into college, like I've made it, maybe entitlement. Maybe I think there's a whole level of problems, like just things that I foresee happening with giving a kid that much power over their family, like at a very young age.
Are you for it? Are you
absolutely?
Okay.
But I also think that we need, there's things that we can, again, like getting ahead of it, like just making sure that we properly prepare young people to handle that type of money and responsibility. It's big. Now you're a taxpayer, right? You're a contributor in your community. Like, what can we do with this money? How can you multiply it? How can you do good with it, right? Not just buy, all the nice things that you want, but how can you make your community better? How can you make your family better? How can you make the game better with this money and with your platform? So I see that, and I think we got to have proper things in place, like colleges, and maybe even, let's say, if a brand comes along and says we want to give you $40,000 a year, we're offering, an opportunity for you to learn about, how to some business, some marketing. Just give kids the resources to how to handle that type of money and power and. So that's what I want. That's what I want for not just Anyla, but all my kids, all my athletes, every kid out there, because like I said, they can grow up with just the wrong habits, the wrong mindset. And you can do good with money. You can also do some damage. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know you talked a little bit about picking the right brands when it comes to that. So what would you say, like, what are your values that, you're looking for in the right brands that would, kind of align with who Anyla Parker is?
Probably, I don't know, just.
Or would you say, I know you say you have a podcast that's coming out soon. What are like some values or, some things that you would talk about on your podcast that just kind of say, this is me, this is Anyla Parker?
I would be talking about a lot of like spiritual stuff. Just basketball and spiritual stuff.
Okay.
And that would probably be the main goal. And like getting to know like myself and other people on there. Okay.
So some networking on there as well. And then when do you plan on dropping this podcast? What is the name of it?
The name is Inner World, In Her World. And then the dates, we haven't found the dates yet, but we'll be looking for some.
We'll definitely let you know.
Yeah.
You'll be the first to know.
Stay tuned. I'm
stay tuned.
definitely going to be tuned in.
It is gonna be good. I love how she just said it like, like we're gonna talk about spiritual stuff. And like, I know people are like, what is that? Right? And I think it just, to like expound on what she means, it's just her personal relationship with herself, and then with just something higher than herself. So just a greater power within herself and outside of her, and just showing how she's been able to connect that with basketball in her life, how it all goes together. It's not separate. It's all connected, and I think it's good for people to see how a 13-year-old has made it all work together. It's not like you don't have to keep this here and that here. It's like she's been able to make it work together.
That's good. really just have one last question just to end off.
I got a question.
Oh, my fault. My fault.
He's like, what about
Hold on.
me?
'Cause we're brothers, so it's like we don't like. I remember when you were about to commit to Mount Verde. He was keeping us in the shadows, like the whole team, really.
Oh, my
about
goodness.
about the about you going to Mount Verde and how he told us he just dropped a video in our group chat, and it was when you guys were at Wiregrass with my little brother, and I was just shocked. I was just like nothing ever came about that. Nothing. I was just like what happened? I still don't. To this day, I don't know what happened, and I just want to know what happened.
Well, I mean, we shot the video, but it was more so it didn't align.
Oh, you mean the video? Like what happened with the video?
Yeah, it never came out. That's why I was like,
it was like the timing.
Yeah.
Though
okay.
I think the timing of it.
Yeah, because it was kind of like last second. I wouldn't say it's last second, but I was busy and we didn't really get to shoot it, and we were trying to get out in a certain time frame. And every time you shoot a video, especially a piece like that, like you already know there's going to be edits. Like it's never going to be perfect.
And I think you had maybe like a half a day to edit.
Yeah.
wasn't
Maybe
enough
like
time.
3 hours or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I think for the most part, it was just like, if we're gonna put this out,
It needs
we
to be
wanted
perfect.
to really embody what her vision is.
Okay.
But I mean, you guys can speak on it too. I mean,
Yeah, well, you can speak on it.
Oh.
Do you understand what you're saying? The video that we made for Mount Verde to the announcement, and just making sure that it aligns with with the message that you wanted, like you know anything to say about it?
No.
she said no.
She knows though,
Yeah.
'cause it was her, right? So she's learning how to, I'm trying to get her again, like to express that, right, and not be like the messenger.
Yeah.
So I know what she wants. It's that you said it, just aligning with, like just the message that she wants it to be received. It was a great video. It was amazing. That's what I'm saying.
It started a lot of uproar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
but-
everything. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was great. And so that's why I say we just gotta come up with it in a different way. I think maybe season opener. Maybe we could do something.
Oh yeah, listen. This.
I mean, look, we got until November. We got until November 5th. It's
Yeah.
still. I was gonna say like game day opener. Maybe have something because we still haven't released it, and it's like having a gem in.
That's what I'll be telling
in
her.
our
I'm like,
drive.
to me, a lot of content is timeless, and it doesn't matter when it
Oh,
actually
yeah.
comes out. It's
Yeah.
just
True.
pushing it in the sense of the matter because it's we've grown a brand, so it's like it doesn't matter like we're first or we're last. Like it's just a matter of getting it out. That's what other members of the team were saying. Like, it didn't matter when it
okay,
came
so
out.
I get it.
Which
All
is
right.
good.
Even like our like old podcast that we shot that we never released,
Yes.
like it's
Yeah.
timeless. Like
Right,
we'll look
right.
back at it 5 years from now, or when she, gets drafted, and we're like, man, like this is.
I don't think you even know, but I was searching for something. Because we keep everything on like black boxes, so I have to go through certain different black boxes to find
Hard
a hard drive to find a different content. And I had found that interview and watched the whole thing, but he never knew, so I was just like,
I haven't even watched
Yeah,
it.
he hasn't watched it. I'm
I
probably the
don't
only
know
person
what
that watched it.
Yeah, that's I'm good.
It was a long
I
time
want to
ago.
see that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Like,
How long ago was that? That was
She was what, 7th grade?
yeah. That was
she seventh grade?
No,
That was
no,
last-
was sixth grade.
6th grade.
It was before the XBL that she played in.
Okay.
So
I know
it was
that.
So sixth grade.
sixth
Sixth
grade,
grade,
maybe.
Yeah.
So
How did she
years
do?
ago.
How was it? How was she
I
at sixth
mean,
grade?
I thought it was. I thought it was
wasn't
great.
as
That-
professional.
It wasn't professional for sure, but I thought it was
You
great.
know.
You guys. I mean, I was mad that no content came out of it because it was a very long podcast. So
I'm
I
sure
feel
there's a
so-
lot of gems
yeah.
in it there.
It still brings
Well,
some.
like I
We'll
said,
dissect it one
everything's
day.
not timeless. Everything is timeless.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
So-
agree. But I think there's still something there, and like maybe you now that's not in the shadows. You can
Yeah.
like be a
True,
part of it. And
true.
he's letting you,
True.
you know, what you got to. What is your input on this? And like I said, I think it's. I told you we should still work on it.
Yeah. No, I honestly, like, especially going throughout the season, like, I want to do more, like, in depth throughout the season. Like, okay, following your journey, as a 8th grader playing on this national schedule, because you have 5 more years before you go on to college, which is
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
you
I know that is crazy. to think
Yeah.
about.
Just kind of like following that journey throughout the year, kind of like a docu-series, and all this stuff we can always incorporate and further help tell your story.
Because Because we don't. One thing about us, we don't delete anything. So
Never do.
anything-
Don't
anything
delete
we
it,
have,
yeah.
that we've ever recorded of you, I promise we have, and it's in our vault, and we can always get it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are goodies. Those are goodies.
for sure. And even I know, like I said, you'll be making a lot of content on your own personal stuff. So, always encourage you to continue to build your brand. Because you never know where it's going to take you, even outside of basketball. I think you already get it, of course, but ultimately it's about changing people's hearts when it comes to, changing the game inside and outside of basketball. So, just love the brand that you guys have already started more than a game. I think it's really just an embodiment of what you guys represent. So,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
But last question before we tune off. Just another kind of like trivial question, a little controversial question, I guess. Who are your top 5 NBA players today in order, 1 to 5?
Okay.
Well, 5 to 1.
5
to 1, yeah.
5 to 1. Okay. Maybe. Probably. Ja.
Ja. Ooh.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Ja?
Ja,
I like Ja.
Okay, this is very.
It's their time. Remember, it's just like that's their.
Wait, 5 to 1, right?
5 to 1.
Okay,
5 to
5.
1.
Oh, wait, hold up. Luca, Ja.
Luca's at 5.
Yeah. Wait, my bad. Ja, Luca.
Okay.
No, say yours. Look at you. Look at you. Say yours. Ja, Luca.
Ja, Luca.
Only 3
I
left.
don't know who would be.
You're going to throw
3.
Curry in there. I know you're going to throw Curry in there.
I don't think
LeBron.
Curry. I know you're gonna
LeBron.
LeBron. Okay.
Curry, Kyrie.
Okay.
Kyrie. Okay. This is a popularity thing. Kid.
Wait, so Ja,
Luca,
Luca.
LeBron.
Is that your order? LeBron, Curry, Kyrie. Is that
Curry,
you?
Kyrie. No Giannis.
Wemby?
Wemby.
You say you can tell she's a guard though.
No, for sure.
You can tell she's a
I
guard,
respect
right?
the list. Like that's a really nice list for sure. Because Shaq, who else was it? Chuck and Kenny on TNT show, like they all did it.
Yeah.
Someone had LeBron at 11. I'm always interested to hear
Yeah.
like what people's top 5 is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, I want to appreciate you guys again for coming through for our 6th episode. Definitely we'll be seeing a lot more of each other throughout the year, and definitely want to wish you luck on your first game coming up on the 5th.
Thank you.
And then also before we head out, just put out your socials or any where they can follow you and find you on all platforms.
Okay, so I got TikTok, official AP the Kidpreneur. Instagram is a.p-the-kidpreneur, and Twitter is AP the Kidpreneur.
And thank you everyone for tuning in to the 6th episode, and catch you next week.